Today, 1st of February 2017, is a day of misery for the South African chicken industry. Today, workers, unions, company bosses and executives have marched in concert to deliver this message to the EU. Stop chicken dumping. Stop killing South African businesses and jobs. In a country with one of the highest unemployment rates in the world, and where many who lose jobs remain unemployed, you are adding misery.
Today's a really sad day because today actually acknowledges all those people who've lost their jobs as a result of EU dumping.
As I'm talking, it was my last day at work. We were retrenched due to this dumping of chickens that's happening here in South Africa.
I've been working with RCL for 30 years now. Last week it was my last day. It's not easy. It's a very hard time for us, for my family, for everyone.
People are losing their jobs, and there will be more to come if something isn't done to stop the dump product that's coming into this country.
Dumping is devastating because it's one country selling a product into another country at below the price that it sells in its own country. Why does it do that? Because it has a surplus of that product in its own country and doesn't want to mess up its own economy by selling it at a low price in its own country. So it dumps it elsewhere at either a much lower price or below cost, in this case below cost.
Now there are imports that are legitimate, but the main thing for us is that there needs to be an equal playing field for us to compete in. And there's a massive amount of dump product now reaching our shores, which caps that ability.
These volumes continue to flow into the country as dumped poultry products, which are generally regarded as a waste product, the brown meat, the bone-in portions in the country of origin.
That means that the local industry then has to try and compete on an unlevel playing field, which is we're trying to sell whole chickens, all of it, and we're receiving the unwanted surplus from Europe, which is the leg quarters, which they don't eat. That devastates your industry because it depresses prices, the local industry can't survive, it collapses, and then you're at the mercy of dumped imports the rest of your life as a country.
We have organized this march because we want to step up the pressure to the European Union for them to realize that the damage that they are causing through the exports from their side of chicken cuts is creating havoc in domestic poultry industry.
On Friday, over 1,300 workers were shown the door by the various poultry employers in this country. We are here looking at a bleak future for ourselves and our children.
There are a lot of people here, well over 1,000, and we're going to go to the EU Commission Embassy and actually tell the Europeans that this is all because of them. They've actually wiped out the lives of more than 1,000 South Africans by getting rid of their waste on our shores.
The other thing we want to do is to dispel some of the myths that the EU is peddling in the media at the moment. Mainly that South Africa is actually inefficient and has structural issues in its chicken industry, and that's the reason for this problem. It's got nothing to do with that. We are going to present to the EU Commission today a document, a piece of work done by a Dutch university in the last 2 years, which shows the cost of producing a chicken in all of the countries of the world. South Africa is the 5th most efficient producer of chicken in euro cents in the world, 25% cheaper than European chicken. And so that puts to bed whether we're efficient or have a structural issue debate. We're highly efficient, but what we can't do is no country can compete against dumping.
It's about unfair competition, unfair trade arrangements. And we think that government has instruments that it can employ, such as trade remedies, to immediately try and defend the industry.
We say to our government, please stop this dumping thing because we are losing our jobs.
So yes to trade, no to dumping. Then we can create jobs. We can easily put down together 20,000 jobs. We can support the rural development, food security, and do all the good things that the country needs. We're spending 7 billion rand on importing chicken. It's not oil, we don't have to do it.
As a consequence of a lot of the noise that's been in the media and the industry retrenchments, government did call an urgent meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I was a player in that meeting. A subsequent smaller working group has got together, and government has acknowledged, along with the industry, that there is a crisis and that there is an imminent collapse if something urgent is not done. But as an industry, we believe we need to continue the momentum of this until something is actually in place.
It's affecting and impacting a lot of people. The 1,000 jobs that have been lost at Rainbow, you can imagine there's a huge number of dependents, perhaps 10,000 people that are impacted by the job losses. Let's not turn a blind eye, otherwise we could end up as a textile industry ended up in this country.
We have an industry to protect in South Africa, not unlike the textile industry that we faced before, and we've got an obligation to do that. And so there's a group like FairPlay who comes in and says, listen, we're prepared to put our voice alongside, we would support them on that.
I understand FairPlay to be an organization that would assist to get a fair arrangement for South Africans versus Europeans when it comes to the issue of fair trade agreement. So their role really is welcomed.
We love the concept of FairPlay. We love it because it's a global initiative. RCL loves the fact that it's an independent body. We support it, as do the other chicken industry players.
We'll stand in solidarity today with everyone and any group that supports the poultry industry.
It's a huge industry. It contributes significantly to jobs and job creation and can do much more for that. So we feel it's absolutely vital that we stand together.
There are two unusual things which are happening today. One is that it's highly unusual for management to march with staff and workers, and we're doing that because all of our jobs are at risk. If this industry goes, we all go. And the second thing that we're doing, which is unusual, is that all of the CEOs of the major players, as well as a number of management, as well as a mixture of workers from 4 or 5 different players are here today.
So there's no employer versus employee, there's no manager versus a worker. Together we are in this for a long haul.
All I want the European Commission to acknowledge that this is not the right thing to fight about, that they're actually in the wrong. Just back off, sort out the problem they have in Europe on their own, and we can move forward together.
And so what we're wanting to say to the EU is you need to stop it. You also need to tell the truth about what the real drivers are of this problem and allow the South African industry to compete with you on a level playing field.